All right. We're here at the Charles Joseph Salon, 6712 Northwest Highway in Chicago, Illinois. This is a place that me and Joe came across last Tuesday, just kind of feeling around the neighborhood, zeroed in on this place, called them, and sure enough, it is a haunted place. Michelle, you going to be around for a while?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What's up?
We want to talk to you about stuff.
All right.
Do you want to come back and talk to us with Pam right now?
Sure.
Cool. So this is Michelle. Reportedly, she used to live upstairs. I heard stories. So this is the salon, and we're going to come back here and start our interview with the owner, Pam. So yeah, Michelle, if you want to just come on back and you can kind of join in. All right, so we are live on YouTube right now. This is our new producer, Dan. Of course, Jojo Erie. We have Michelle and Pam. Michelle, you're the manager
Yes.
of the salon, and you are the owner of the salon?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So you just kind of like hold that. All right, so let's start. So, hello, Pam.
Hello.
I'm Dave. So Michelle, if you want to like come over here and just sit by this mic here. So here, if you wanna, yeah, Kelly, after that. So we've been doing paranormal research for about 20 years now, a little over 20 years in fact, and both Joe and Joe, who's not here today because he has to work, he works for a major parcel delivery service, we'll say, and he has a route today to do. So essentially, we're what's called clairsensitive. We're not clairvoyant. We can't communicate with the dead or anything like that, but we can feel energy. So we can drive by a place, walk by a place, and tell if it's haunted or not. And over 150 times, we've come across a place, felt the vibe at a place, and then later on confirmed that was haunted. Just like we did. So last Tuesday night, Joe and I came to Edison Park with the intent of finding a haunted place. We came here at night hoping that we would find like a bar or a restaurant that was still open and we could like interview right on the spot. That did not pan out. And plus, the people in this neighborhood are not really all that friendly when it comes to talking about that kind of stuff we found. Everyone's kind of standoffish. I don't know if it's like the old mob mentality or what, but it's like we don't know nothing, we don't want to talk. So we both independently walked around the neighborhood, and when we compared notes when we met back up, I picked out 6710 and 6712, and Joe picked out 6714, and then we walked back over here and realized what we were feeling was oozing out of your salon. So of course I called in the morning, I talked to your receptionist, I forget who I talked to initially, Carrie, and she of course, confirmed that yes, there's some stuff going on. So, tell us a little bit about the background of how you came to be at this place, and how long you've been here, and we'll start there.
Okay, so we've been here 15 years.
Okay.
The place was like a dump. This is original floor. It's like over 100 years old. And we did a bunch of rehabbing. Now it doesn't look so good, but usually it did. And I don't, it's a cool place. I grew up here, so
Okay.
we love the high ceilings and, all that.
Fantastic. Was there anything in particular that drew you to this space, or was it just what was available, or?
I wanted this area,
Okay.
so this was perfect.
Fantastic. And how long have you been here now?
And 15 years.
When did you first open up here?
December of 2013.
Okay. Cool. You did a full remodel on the place?
Yes.
So, what was here before you opened up?
So I think it was Van's Variety, right? Or was that next? I think that was down. Yeah. I'm not sure what was here. What is happening like right before we came here? owner of the bakery who owned, it's in the same building, she was next door.
Okay.
She was using this for like storage. She was actually gonna open like a little Italian bistro. Never panned out.
Okay.
So we took over and
That explains the giant stand mixer out front, out back.
yeah, yes.
That, how, has it just been sitting in the building this
Yes,
whole time?
forever. Well, she just moved out a couple years ago.
Okay.
So
It's probably like a $2,000.
yeah, I'm sure, right? Yeah, she was living in there,
Oh,
in the
okay.
back of the bakery. It was pretty creepy.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right. And then do you know anything about what was here before that or anything?
I don't, not sure.
Do you know the age of the building when it was built?
No, I know it's like over 100 years old.
Okay. Do you know of any deaths or incidents that occurred in this building?
I don't.
All right. Michelle, anything?
I don't know.
You used to live upstairs, right?
I did for a short time, about a year.
Was it fully furnished apartment or what was the deal?
Well, it was kind of a crash pad for a bunch of flight attendants, so
Okay.
there's a bunch of people coming in and out. It was kind of like, yeah, it was somewhat furnished, yeah. It
What
was
sitcom material?
pretty much, yeah.
What years were that?
That would be 94.
Did you have any experiences up there when you were living there?
I did not have any experiences up there. The only thing I've ever had here was about 2 years ago. I would come in and I would smell smoke right at the entrance, right when I walked into the salon.
Okay.
And I'm always the first one here, so there's nobody here, and it was when nobody was living upstairs. So I told her, I go, I keep smelling smoke when I come in here, like someone had just been smoking at the entrance. And he said,
Actually,
one of our,
the girl who used to work here before her said it all the time. She would
Wow.
say, "Smells like smoke" when I walk in. She was always the first one in too.
Now, is there any explanation for that? Could there be like a homeless person that sleeps in the doorway and runs off
No.
before you get here or anything
it's
like
like inside. It wasn't like right in the door.
Yeah.
It was like when you come in by the front desk area.
that? So we definitely have some evidence of like sensory stuff. Have other people smelled that same smell? Or like, for instance, if somebody is next to you, do they smell the same smell?
I'm usually here like
All alone.
Okay.
alone for a while now. So.
Gotcha. Okay. What experiences have you two personally had here while you were here?
Okay, so I had kind of a big one. It was a few years back, let's say maybe 5 years back, and I was standing at my station and nobody was behind me, nobody was around me, and I was talking about something that had to do with somebody that died, and a glass just shattered, like out of the blue.
Whoa.
Like we all looked and we were like, oh my god, nobody was there. Like it was crazy. Like it was.
What kind of glass was it?
It was like a regular glass. That you
Like a drinking glass?
Drinking glass,
Like
yeah.
like a highball glass
But
or
it was
like
like a glass
A little
looking
bit shorter than
just like
Yeah.
your standard kind of 8-ounce glass.
Yeah.
Now,
It was a-
was there any liquid in it? Was there anything in
Nothing.
it? It wasn't hot?
No,
was it
because
cold?
you would think,
Yeah.
right? No. Mm-mm.
So just
Nothing.
by on its own volition just
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah.
Wow. Have there been any other incidents at all that you've experienced personally?
Nothing really for me, no.
Okay. Any like weird vibes kind of chill up your spine
Oh yeah,
kind of
here and
thing?
there, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah.
So when I talk about the feelings that Joe and I have and how we can sense this stuff, that's literally what we're feeling.
Yeah.
But in a very intense way. Essentially, think of it this way: that feeling that you're having is the actual energy that's causing the haunting coming in contact with you. It's literally, it's like a dog running up to you and saying hi.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's essentially what we feel. We're like the dog person at the party, and when you walk into the party and the dog's like, oh, that's a guy that I want to know, and they
Yeah.
run right up to you out of the crowd. So that's kind of how we are with this stuff, is we're sort of a magnet for it. So that's why we weren't really able to pinpoint the exact spot because it came out to us when we walked by. So we were able to kind of pinpoint a specific area, like general area where it was, and then kind of narrow it down from there. Now, Michelle, have you personally had any experiences here with this kind of stuff?
Yeah, and I'm a total believer, so
Yeah.
I would look for it. I can't say offhand that I've noticed anything.
Okay. So you haven't had any specific incidents at all?
No.
Okay, so I have another question for you. It kind of kind of gets off track a little bit. It seems like it gets off track, but it's important because it's part of our theoretical. Are you religious at all?
Yes.
Okay. And what about you?
Yes.
So you're both fairly religious, attend church and that kind of thing. We have this theory that people that are religious are kind of put a barrier up.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, and like
We don't all do it.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is sort of intentional, where you put up this psychological barrier, so you can't. It's like putting a big wet blanket over yourself, where you kind of shut yourself out to it. Whereas I find people that are more spiritual or atheist or whatever experience a lot more because they kind of don't have that block, that psychological block there. Because it's kind of like not like I'm not gonna say it's like wearing blinders, but it's kind of like wearing sunglasses where you're creating a filter almost. So that's interesting. Now, is there anyone that works here that is like freaking out all the time and always telling you stories and like saying things are happening to them? Or is there any one person that is kind of like focused on that is experiencing a lot of incidents?
Carrie has one or a couple of things, but nothing where she's like afraid to
Right.
come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I called.
Until you after you call.
When I called, like, Carrie definitely seemed like she was like, yeah. There
Yeah.
was definitely something.
She's your girl.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you guys had any, like, vivid or strange dreams about this place when you're, like, anything that just seems like you wake up and
No,
you're like,
but
wow,
I
that was crazy.
I do see things. Like, all of a sudden I'll be like, ooh, I just saw something there. And then I'm like, nobody's there. Like, I do see things.
So
Yeah.
here you have had,
Yes.
like, kind of peripheral.
I have
like-
had everywhere, though.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I
do you-
don't get that often.
Do you feel that maybe what is here might be following you around a little bit or kind of sticking with
Could
you a
be.
little bit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you feel, I mean, obviously you don't feel scared here or it doesn't feel ominous or anything like that, but can you say that you sort of feel a living energy in the space? Like when you're here, it feels different than when you're,
I never really thought about it until you guys, talk. But yeah, I would guess that would be what's happening now.
Because a lot, people will talk about like, musicians or comedians or whatever will talk about like a club that they go to or perform at or a nightclub or something like that. And it's just got a really good energy. You just get this really good buzz, this really good vibe. And would you say that this place kind of has that for you, where you feel kind of like enveloped and welcome here?
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like almost like
People say that too.
like kind of like almost like a relief, like it feels like home.
Yes.
Like it sort of it adapts to you, if
Yes.
you will. All right. Fantastic. Do you guys have any security system here at all, like that sets like goes off unexplainably, or any video cameras that capture weird things like that?
No.
Okay. And have you had any experiences elsewhere outside of this place, as far as unusual paranormal things go?
No.
No? And you?
My house is around the corner. It's an older house. And the people we bought it from moved because they thought it was.
Oh, really?
So we used to see shadows in our house, but it was always kind of comforting. It wasn't anything scary. So
Okay.
to see.
That's the thing, is like when people live with it for a while, it kind of just becomes second nature.
And my son, when he was 4, he used to say that he saw a man on the staircase. So I mean, it was just kind of one of those type of things that it wasn't scary, and it was. And he still talks. He's like, I wasn't lying. So.
How old is he now?
He's 19 now.
Wow, and he really does.
He remembers. He said it was a man in a suit on the staircase. So.
It's funny because I have a theory about American hauntings, and that's that what people are seeing in hauntings is not necessarily an invisible dead person, if you will, which is what commonly people think ghosts are. But I feel that the energy that's left behind is from a person that was once living, and while they're having a heart attack or burning to death in a fire, or they just got murdered, or whatever it was that they died from, their life flashing before their eyes is kind of what that is imprinted on that energy when it leaves your body. So what you're experiencing when you come in contact with it, you can kind of pull pieces of information out of it, almost as if it was a radio signal just out there in the ether. And if you drove through the countryside with your radio set to static, you can pick something up eventually. And it's kind of like, so when you get that image of the man on the stairs in the business suit, or you get an image of a woman in white or a child or whatever, what you're experiencing is you're literally experiencing the dead person's memories. More so than an actual, like you're not actually seeing the ghost of an old man, you're seeing the memories of his father. Or, the woman in white, which is a really common, the man in the business suit is one of the most common ghosts I hear of. The woman in white is probably the most common, which obviously is wedding, and then there's children, which are, the creepiest of all, of course. One of the first things we experienced, Jay and I, we started this back in 1998. We were in a haunted bar called the Morrison Music Room on the north side of Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning, like literally a week after we discovered this whole thing. And a little kid laughed at us in the back of an empty room. And I would have rather it been a demon just telling me it's going to steal my soul than the sound of a child. That was really weird. I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life. It was pretty crazy. We didn't even say anything to each other. We just scrambled over each other, get out of the room, shoved each other out of the way. It was pretty crazy. So, is there anything else that you have to add, or any other experiences you had, or thoughts that you might have? Well, Michelle, I'd really like to talk to your son sometime.
Go to your house.
And go to your house
I'd love you to come in my house and see what you think.
That would be really great. Because the thing is, like a lot of these situations, we actually did an episode of a little girl, I think she was 6 years old, and she was having incidents with an imaginary friend thing. We went to the house, and you could feel like super heavy energy in her room. And the first time I went over there, she was balled up, sleeping on the couch while I was talking to her mother and sister. And it was like a ball of static electricity hanging over her body. You could put your hands into it and feel it hanging over her. Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah.
And when we finally got to interviewing her a few weeks later, she was kind of like, oh, it was all just pretend, like, because, people had been saying to her, like, oh, you're not really experiencing, and she eventually kind of lost it or whatever. But to talk to an adult person that still has those vivid memories of, imaginary friend or ghost that they saw when they were children is really rare. So that would be really, really cool to be able to talk to them about that. What's your son's name? Tyler? Is he? Oh, Kyle. Okay. Is he around at all today? Oh, okay. But I'd love to get your information so we can discuss that further. Is there anyone else here that wants to talk to us? Okay. Is Carrie going to be here for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can go up.
Yeah.
Go upstairs.
Michelle, do you want to come upstairs with us and visit your old place? All right, cool. Well, let's do that, and then we'll come back and we'll interview Carrie.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having us here.
No problem.
And
Thank you.
is there anything in particular you'd like us to do, to like promote? Like, do you want us to promote your salon as a haunted place so people can come here and
You think it's gonna scare people off?
I don't think so. Like, the thing is that, like, nowadays, like, with hauntings the way that they are, it's such, like, this part of pop culture that nobody's scared of it anymore. Nobody's scared by a haunted place.
Right.
If anything, it's like this curiosity thing. Like, there's another salon down the next block, and, like, curiosity seeker's gonna be like, I want to go to the haunted place.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. I love all that stuff. But
I think it would be different too if you experienced something that was very negative. Then I could see people would be like, yeah,
They're not
even
coming here.
not even that
Yeah.
far, yeah, but even something like that. But I
Yeah.
think from what
Yeah.
I've heard.
I agree.
All right, cool.
I agree.
Well, we're gonna go talk. What's the landlord's name again?
Tom.
Tom. We're gonna go talk to Tom, and we're gonna go upstairs. Do you want to come with us?
I can, but I'd probably just
Yeah, we'll just leave all this here, and then I'll use the chat.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, we are here with Michelle. Say hi, Michelle. We're right at the front of the salon here. We're waiting for everyone to.
No, she's not.
So we're going to do actually the upstairs where they were remodeling right now to check it out. We still live? We still recording?
Yep.
You don't want to come in, Dan, or Tom?
Would you like me to?
Yeah, if you want to come.
Sure.
That's Dan over there.
Is
Dan,
you got enough room for me to come
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
Okay.
It's,
Okay.
you know, a whole building.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So, Tom, you're the landlord, right? You're the
Yes.
the owner.
Yes.
How long have you guys been working on the place, or how long have you owned the place?
We've owned it for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And it took a while, then we decided to renovate it. Super cool. So then about 6-8 months ago, maybe a year ago, we got the tenants out.
Okay.
And then just started the rehab process. So right now, we're at the stage of, we did all the framing, the plumbing, electric, drywall. I'm the drill contractor shortly, actually.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of the stage where it's at.
Gotcha. Well, have you had any unusual experiences or vibes while working in here at all?
No, we've had a lot of water damage.
Yeah, a lot of problems.
A lot of delays in the process here, but no, not me personally.
Okay.
No.
Have any of your workers said anything like, there was kind of a demon in here? Just talking.
No, not that I've heard.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Find any skeletons, anything like that?
No, no, there was a bakery that was on the south side of the building here.
Yeah. I saw the big stand mixer out there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's probably worth like $2,000.
It is.
Yeah.
It's an old Hobart.
Yeah.
It is actually. But she had been here for 38 years, and it was a little.
Do you remember what it was before we were trying to figure out?
No,
the
I'm
salon?
not sure.
Because we
No,
thought Van's Variety was like 2 doors down.
no, but who would know would be Vito from Tony's Deli right next door, because
Okay.
they're celebrating their 40th anniversary this weekend.
Oh.
So he was here prior to Julia, the bakery lady. So he would know. He would have information on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you don't know the age of the building or anything?
No, if I had to guess, I would say it was maybe built in the 35 to 40-ish,
Okay.
1935 to 40s.
I think I looked it up before, when, I think it was like older than my house, so I think it was like 1902 actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong
We'll have
with
to
that.
check into that.
Yeah, do you have any paperwork or any information that you can dig up on it at all?
No, I don't personally know.
Oh, there it is.
Try to check. I don't have it yet, but I can check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
cool,
think that's where.
What's the address again?
6712.
Okay.
6710 and 6712 is the two. Right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go upstairs here. Okay, like I'm not even up to the 4th stair yet, and I can already feel it. Like,
Mhm.
because the thing that when I was wandering around the neighborhood here, the first thing that really stuck out at me and really jumped out at me was right in front of this door. So whatever is here is like, I can feel it in my head already, and like what you're gonna see is my veins will start popping up and my hands will turn red. I'll start getting goose pimples, my eyes will start watering.
Okay.
So, okay, so here on the first landing, and I can already feel it tingling in my head. You feel it, Joey?
Yeah, a little bit.
I can already feel it like tingling through my scalp. And we're probably at around a 6 out of 10 right here. Okay, going up to the second landing. So now on the second floor. Whoa. Okay. Now in the first room on the second floor, definitely some vibes in here. Nothing terribly strong, but it's definitely there's definitely a presence. Now, did you say that somebody killed themselves up here, or you think?
No, I did hear from a previous tenant that years ago that there was something that had occurred.
Oh wow.
And I didn't investigate it, check it.
Wow. guessing. Now, another room here, not really getting anything in here. Some new insulation on the walls, new windows, putting in drywall. Whole place is gutted.
Sure, I'll go back.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. Alright.
No.
Another room here. So is this gonna be like this is gonna be a residential unit?
Yes, these are gonna be, apartments, so 3-bedroom, 2-bath units.
Okay, cool. So apartments, not condos, like rentals. Okay. In the third bedroom here. Now I'm not getting anything terribly strong, but it's like this pressure, like kind of ever present energy. Okay, now I'm in the back room here. What is this room gonna be?
This is a bathroom.
Okay.
So this was added as of recent, so this is new. This used to be, what was the back there? This was the kitchen.
Okay,
And we pulled the furnace and we added a bath.
gotcha.
So this is all gonna be the kitchen.
Alright. And those stairs out there are probably not safe for walking on, I'm guessing.
No, we could probably go out there.
Okay.
If we're
Because we
careful.
walked out the back and we were like,
No, there's a wood railing.
There's a little,
So-
tired.
When you lived up here, was it in this space or the next space?
It was, I turned around, because usually I come in here. I was above the bakery, so.
Okay.
My room was above the bakery.
And you said you lived here 94?
94.
Oh, okay, so there's a whole other,
Yeah, I was on
Apartment
this
on the other
side.
side?
This apartment.
so we're now on the south side. Oh, okay.
What, did you get really creepy vibes in there?
Yeah, this is, there's definitely something hanging out in here. You feel it, Joey?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Michelle's old room is the most haunting room so far. I mean, it's not the strongest it can be. Like, you know, it's like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
It's not like a 10, but there's definitely something over there. And then we got more back here. So this is also going to be a 3-unit.
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, what is the rent going to be on a 3-unit 2-bath?
We're gonna project somewhere around 26 to 2800.
Okay. Seems about right. All right, now in the back of this second unit. Yeah, there's some more back here. Seems like the corners have got the vibes. Okay, so far, your old room and the corner of this back room definitely.
That was my first bedroom, and then I moved to that one.
Which was?
This used to be like a family room, but we had a curtain.
Okay.
Did you find any cool stuff in the walls? Old coins or like a knife or a murder weapon?
Definitely a lot different in this room.
Joey, where you at?
Over here.
Okay, we're gonna go up to the 3rd floor. Heading up to the 3rd floor. On the landing again. Maybe getting a pretty strong vibe on the landing. Up to the 3rd floor, and now I have a headache. Okay. Terribly strong here.
now.
Not really getting anything on this floor.
This was your last year. I mean, I think it was behind the walls.
Getting a little bit of a vibe walking back through the hallway. Now we'll go check out the last unit. North side, third floor.
Thank you very much.
Checking out first living room. Into bedroom. There's kind of like this ever-present sort of
Yeah.
thing, but it's nothing.
Crazy.
Nothing really jumping out at me. It's more of just kind of a. Units energy that just kind of permeates the building. Really close to the next building over. And now the last room, the kitchen. Yeah, this third floor is like
Nothing
got
really.
stuff, but it's not really. I think the most intense thing I felt was in your bedroom downstairs, the second floor. Alright, well, we explored the units above. Now, we'll go back to this one. So, Michelle, when you were living here, did you have any stories or anything? Like, did anyone experience anything as they were staying here?
No, there were so many people, because like I said, it was flight attendants, so many people were always coming in and out, like, I was only here maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Besides it being full of cockroaches, because it was so dirty.
And probably everyone was constantly high.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Not near like.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. Meet up with you in 5 years.
But it's,
I think so.
you ready to go in right here?
Yeah, we're gonna do another interview here. So,
Yeah.
do we have any viewers on that at all?
No. Sad.
So I think.
Yeah, we do actually. Now that you just said
Alright.
that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Now that you just said that, so what are you doing?
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
I just have one story.
Hey, hold on
Okay.
1 second, let me start this up. Okay, it's gone.
Okay, we good?
go.
Okay, so we're here with Carrie. Carrie, you're the person that I first talked to when I called the next morning after we kind of pinpointed this place.
Yeah.
What did you think when I called you and asked you if this place was haunted?
I don't know, I was kind of nervous after we had talked only because I didn't really get a vibe from here before.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things that have happened, but I never thought it was because it was haunted or spirits. I just thought it's because it's an old building that's under construction. So,
Well, when I called, I mean, then I said, hey, is your place haunted? You seemed to sort of agree with that, like kind of right off the bat.
I did only because just the last week there was a giant unexplained noise that happened that we had never heard before, and Linda and myself didn't know why and where it came from and what had happened. But it's just little unexplained things that after talking to you, you kind of go back on and say, I've been here for 3 years, and then you think, oh my gosh, could this be why? Maybe because it's haunted, or so.
Do you want to explain what happened?
Oh yeah, it was just a loud noise back here. There was Linda was just having a client, and I already just finished up cleaning up back here, and was in the front at the front desk, and there was a loud, really loud noise like someone threw something on the floor, and she turned off the blow dryer, and she says, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yes." And she says, "Is the back door locked?" I said, "It's locked." And I came back here, looked around, and there was nothing was out of place, and nothing. There should have been something giant in the middle of the floor,
Right.
and there was nothing. And it was just happened like maybe I want to say it was about 8 o'clock at night, and it was enough for her to turn her blow dryer off and say, you know.
Now was
what
this
the heck
this
this?
was before I talked to you?
This was just a week prior.
Wow,
Yes.
okay.
That's why when you called, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh. Maybe it could have been something other than construction.
Was there anything else at all that you experienced here that made you think that maybe?
You know, there's just when you're here by yourself. I've been here by myself late at night, and there's just been a few, like a few little noises that you're where it kind of makes you look behind your back.
Yeah.
But you know, it's an old building. We're the only ones that are in here, and so you don't really, you know, it kind of catches you off guard, but you don't really think, oh my gosh, it's like haunted, or there's somebody behind you, or you know, you just kind of turn around and say, oh, okay, whatever.
You know,
And then lock up.
Pam kind of explained the same phenomenon where she thinks that there's somebody behind her and turns around type thing.
Yeah.
So she gets that a lot here.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that in this space, would you say that there's kind of a vibe present, like an energy, like when you're here, do you feel welcome here? Like, do you feel like
You know, I really don't have any kind of feeling like that. Like, I don't have any kind of, no, I don't feel like there's somebody here with you, or it's not an unfriendly feeling.
Right.
It's just normal.
But when you're here on your own, do you get that sort of like?
Yeah, you get a little creeped a little bit.
Do you get the like the hair stand up on the back of your
You
neck,
know,
goosebumps? Sort of
I
thing?
didn't. I think I did when I heard that loud noise here.
Yeah.
It was just because it was just strange that there was nothing broken in here, and there's nothing on the floor, and there was nothing. But when I'm here by myself, you know, that kind of, you hear something behind your back. I've never felt that, like, you know, like the chills or anything. I've never gotten that here.
Now, would you consider yourself to be a religious person?
Yeah.
Okay. So you attend church normally and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you know, holidays. Yeah.
So
I do believe in God.
You're
I
an
do.
American religious person.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You know, when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Because one of our theories kind of revolves around the fact that people that are religious kind of they put up this kind of blockade, which is sort of part of the religious experience, is like, you know, shut yourself off to crazy stuff that's out there, you know. And we find that people that aren't as religious, more spiritual or atheist or whatever, are a lot more open to this stuff. So it kind of like they notice it a lot more. It's almost as if kind of put it in the way like when you get a new car, right? And then you start seeing that car everywhere. It's not like that car just showed up. It's always been everywhere. You just never noticed it before because you never really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've had experience with what they say, ghosts before, where I've had the chills and the feeling and getting totally creeped out. And so I'm open to all of
Okay.
this.
You want to explain that situation a little bit? Like what?
It was my girlfriend's house. She lives in a very old bungalow in the city, and she had bought the house. She's 26, so she had bought the house. She's been there for 20 years, and early on she was single, so we were hanging out there a lot together, and she just always had footsteps all the time, like where you just look up and say, she would laugh, no, it's just the ghost, and she had a closet in her spare room that was always freezing cold. And the one night I was sleeping over there, then we've heard footsteps now for years. It is just normal, you know. And I never really wanted to be alone in the house, you know. But when we were with her, with other people, it was fine. And one evening I had slept over, and we were young after we were out, and it almost felt like someone opened. Well, I heard someone open the door, but you know, you don't know, you're kind of tired, so you don't really want to open your eyes or whatever. I just assumed it was her. And someone sat on the bed, then got off of the bed, and then shut the door. And the next morning I said, what the heck were you doing in my room so early in the morning? Why'd you come down here? She's like, I just got up. And so then you're like, okay, that was really strange because you feel that.
Right.
So you know that you're not crazy.
It's funny
and
because
it's like when you're a little kid and mom sits on your bed when you're sick.
Right.
To check on
what
you.
you just described is one of the situations I had when I was kind of first delving into this in the first few years. I had a sleep paralysis episode where I couldn't move my body, but it felt like somebody was sitting on the bed behind me, like you can feel the bed compressed behind me, like somebody was sitting there, but I knew it couldn't be because the headboard was right there. There's no way it could have been. And I heard my brother's voice saying, David, David, David. And I finally snapped awake, and I called him. This was like at 11:30 at night. And I called him, and the phone rang and rang and rang and rang and nothing. Then I called again, and it rang and rang and rang and rang. And he picks up and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I just had a really weird dream. I heard your voice. I wanted to make sure you were okay." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Goodbye." And he hangs up on me. So fast forward to several months later, and I'm in the foyer of my mom's house, which is where I lived at the time, and I was on the computer. I was like typing an email to somebody, and it was like something that like was upsetting, or I was like kind of like really emotionally like And my brother and his wife come in. They come upstairs and they're standing behind me, and my brother's like, "David, I need to talk to you." And I'm like, hold on. And then I hear him go, "David, David, David," and it like snaps me out of it. And I turn around and I'm like, what? And he's like, "Leslie's pregnant. You're going to be an uncle." And it occurred to me later on that that night that I called him is when he was making my niece. That's why he was so pissed off when I called.
That's pretty funny.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
So I've had that same experience. Now, have you ever had sleep paralysis episodes before?
I have not.
Okay, because
No.
that basically what it is, if you don't know, it's basically your brain wakes up before your body does, but your body's still in REM sleep. So it's like kind of like when you take a light switch and you put it right in between, and the light doesn't know if it's on or off, and it kind of just flickers there. So it's this weird situation that you get yourself into where your body has not woken up yet, like your body hasn't made the connection, but your brain is awake. So because your brain is awake, but you're still in REM sleep, your brain starts to fill in all this crazy stuff of like when people explain like a phantom like holding them down, or like aliens standing around them and stuff, it's almost always a sleep paralysis episode, because what your brain will fill in with is like familiar sort of haunting images of humanoid shapes and figures and creatures and stuff like that. So I was wondering if maybe that was what you were experiencing. But this was you were fully.
I was fully aware that someone was coming in the room and sitting on the bed, and like I said, that we always knew that we always knew that there was something creepy in that house.
Right.
And that closet was always freezing cold and wouldn't shut all the way, and so you're always freezing, and you're always like worried that you're going to hear the footsteps. But yeah, that's just that when I felt that that body or whatever sit on the bed, and it just kind of brought you to like, okay, well, why is she not saying anything? But so that kind of woke me up, but not enough to like wake up and sit up. Does that make sense? And so the next morning when she'd come down, I said, "Why were you in the room?" So what were you trying to do? Why were you waking me up? And she's like, "I wasn't. I just got up." And so then years after that, we still heard the footsteps, and she had recently got her house saged.
Okay.
And she actually had to have somebody come in because now she has a child that was sleeping in that room. And as the child got older, she started putting her baby dolls in the closet and turning her stuffed animals around because they were staring at her.
Oh.
And the daughter was starting to get creeped out, and she was 6, and she's like, "Okay, this is enough. Enough's enough." And so she had somebody come in and take care of the house, and now the daughter sleeps in it just fine. And
Now, when you say that the dolls were staring at her, was this like just a child being freaked out, or was this like literally all of the dolls turning on their own volition to look at her?
oh, I don't know. I think it was in that this is what the little girl was saying. I don't think the doll moving. I don't think any heads were being turned. But I think that this child felt like people were staring at her. They were staring at her. It was giving her the creeps, and she wanted them out of there.
Wow.
And so, and this is the same bedroom that this happened to me. And so when this woman came to do this exorcism kind of a thing on the house with sage and all this other stuff, Terry said that she felt this presence that, it's gone, it's done. And then weeks after that, nothing. So now I think it's been a little over a year, and there's nothing. The kid seems fine in her room, and and she says, I don't hear footsteps anymore, and
So she's still in the same house.
still in the same house, rolling the house, houses.
How long has she been in that house?
20 years.
Wow.
She bought it young.
So it just kind of went away after this agent.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, is she a religious person?
Yeah. Yes.
I kind of feel like a lot of times when you have somebody come in with the sage or like an exorcism or whatever, it almost, if it convinces the living people there that it's gone, sometimes it makes you put up that wall where you don't notice it anymore. Like you kind of push it away. All right. Well, very cool. Thank you for talking to us. Do you have any other interesting, cool stuff to add? Any other experiences you've had, or?
No, that's probably about the most interesting.
All right, cool. Is there anyone else here that's had experiences that might want to talk to us?
I don't know. I can see Harley wants to talk to you. But
Okay. Thank you. All right, we're gonna go see if Harley. Who's Harley? But have you had experiences elsewhere? Or?
Can you tell us about this?
Well,
What do you feel?
so long story short, are we still recording?
Yeah, we're gonna end it.
What?
We're gonna end it.
No, keep going.
Now, I do have a question. Did Michelle tell you that sometimes there's product down?
One of the things you told me, are you like film? One of the things you told me
Yeah.
when I first called is that sometimes things move.
Yeah.
So what?
Like a product off the shelf.
Like just sitting on the
Just
ground.
sitting on the ground, yeah, or bent over. And, even when there's, so you just think that it's construction.
Right.
You
It's
just
the walls
blame it
are
on that.
vibrating.
Yeah, but when there's nothing going on here at night, so you leave and everything seems like it's, up and then you come in the morning and you see something knocked over, I think that's strange.
Now, have you ever personally witnessed anything falling off the shelf?
No.
Or anything like that?
I've come into product being down, but nothing.
Anything ever moving? Like you put something on the counter and you come back and it's not? Nothing on the counter?
No, nothing like that.
Alright. Very cool. Do you have anything to add here? Well, all right. Thank you very much for talking to us. So, just to give you an idea of where we're coming from, like I explained to you when I called, Joe and I are clairsensitive. We're not clairvoyant. We can't speak to the dead or anything like that. We don't even really subscribe to the fact that this stuff is coming from dead people necessarily. We think there's a bunch of different factors involved. We believe that there's probably some scientific explanation for this somewhere along the line. We just haven't figured it out yet because we don't have the technology to see energy, if you will. But so Joe and I came here just, hey, let's go check out Edison Park. There's probably some audit stuff around it. We both walked through the neighborhood. We started down by the Bank of America, walked up this side of the street, then walked around the block, walked up to the funeral home, through the parking lot, down around where the Edison Park is, back around the block by Firewater, and then kind of back up this stretch and then back. And we basically made notes of all the places that we were experiencing stuff. Where I got the strongest hit was 6710, the doorway right there. And where Joe got the strongest hit was 6714, right here. So average the two together, and they're right in between. Because when we feel it, it can kind of come out to us and follow us around a bit. It's kind of hard to pinpoint where it's coming from exactly sometimes. But when we compared notes later, saw that we both picked this place, we we came back to this spot and, walked the door so we could feel it coming up. So that's why I called you the next day. Yeah. You think we're crazy?
Well, I'm a huge believer.
But you've never had anything
I mean, nothing crazy, but
Well, you said nothing crazy. Anything non-crazy?
well, like when my boyfriend sleeps over, he's like, I literally like he won't do it because I mean on a rare occasion he's like, I just feel like people are staring at me, and like I get that feeling too, like specifically in my room and my mom's room, and because like both of us are right next to each other, but more so her room. Like if I can't sleep in her room and I won't go in her room alone.
The craziest thing about that story is your boyfriend sleeps over next to your mom.
She doesn't care.
So,
But I mean, like other than that, like just eerie stuff.
so you've never had anything like personal experience? Very cool. So anyone else here had any stories to tell? Well, I think we're definitely going to talk to Michelle. Like Michelle was telling us that her son basically still remembers seeing a ghost on the stairs on a regular basis when he was 4 years old.
In her house. Oh, she tells us her house is creepy all the time. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's probably a good one to check out.
Yeah. So we probably felt it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, nice meeting you.
I really appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, I think we're good. We're done. So, maybe I'll just come back and we'll wrap it up. Sure. All right, let's go back. Joey, you want to sit down? You good? You recording?
Yep.
So, all right. So, I mean, no huge revelations here, but we definitely got some good experiences and stories. Joey, do you have anything to add as far as what you felt or experienced here? Or?
I mean, I've definitely felt some different vibes in different places walking around, especially the apartment building. Like some rooms were more than other.
Yeah.
But I mean, you definitely get a chill just walking in the place. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something here, and everyone that we've talked to that works here seems to agree that there is indeed an energy. Now, it's it's nothing crazy out of the ordinary. It's nothing super intense, but
Like I've experienced before.
it's
yeah.
definitely
It's still something. Though.
Yeah, it's definitely a presence that's here, and as far as doing this little kind of test run for the first time, we just came to this little 2-block area neighborhood here in Chicago, and we were able to pinpoint a place that not only is haunted, but was cooperative and let us come in and interview them. And
I mean, it's interesting just like how much just getting a vibe from walking around can like lead to all these crazy stories.
Right, and I'm definitely going to follow up with Michelle because I definitely want to interview her son about what he saw when he was a kid. That's very rare for children to remember that into adulthood, and I think that's going to be a really interesting.
Another story, maybe
yeah.
not something else we could do.
Dan, our new producer, would you like to come sit down where Joey's at and kind of give us your opinion? And tell us a little bit about your backstory,
I honestly, I've never felt anything in my life, so walking through here wasn't really anything different to me. Just walking through a building, so it's hard for me to be a judge on that end.
But as far as just kind of the backstory of how we found this place,
Yeah.
and what the people have said, do you believe that we genuinely have something here?
Oh,
Do you-
absolutely,
do you-
absolutely. I mean, how could you get strangers together and everyone's just making up stories that just I'm pretty what's the word I'm looking for?
Skeptical.
Yeah, I'm very
level-headed?
skeptical with stuff. Yeah, if you want to say level-headed, but yeah, I mean, obviously people experience things. Just because I haven't doesn't mean other people
Right.
haven't.
And
So-
I feel like probably 1 out of 5 people have a story. You know,
Yeah,
everyone
absolutely.
knows somebody that's got some crazy story about
Yep.
some crazy thing that happened to them. And you know, I think it's almost like a matter of fact. It's just a fact of life. You know, some people are going to have otherworldly experiences that they can't explain.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that when she was telling me about the sounds and they were telling me about the glass breaking, you know, I tried to ask logical questions of, you know, what might have caused those things.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. You're not just hyping up what they're saying.
Right,
You're
I'm
trying to
trying
figure
to-
out, is this for real or could it be something else?
Right. Yeah. So tell us, you know, tell us a little bit about your backstory. Like like you were with a band, 88 Fingers
Yeah, I
Louie.
played 88 Fingers Louie, and yeah, I met Joe, your counterpart here, for doing some of this stuff back when I recorded his band. So that probably was early 2000s, maybe 2000. I don't remember now. And I always knew, yeah, he was kind of into this, you know, supernatural and spiritual side of things. But yeah, never really spoke to him about it too much after that. He did bring up a few things that he's experienced, but never totally in depth. And I think he's skeptical too of telling people because most people are going to be like, yeah, whatever, this
Right,
guy's
and,
a crackpot
and that's
or
the thing.
whatever.
Like, like I'm so skeptical that even when Joe tells me something, I'm like, come on, you know, like,
Yeah.
and he's my friend of
Yeah,
20 years.
yeah, and you experience things similar to him,
Right.
So.
And if anything, this whole situation, you know, because to tell you the truth, Joe has always said that he has the feeling as well.
Yeah.
And in a sense, you know, there's a lot of times that we do kind of collaborate on stuff, and I can see that he is feeling. But I've always kind of like wondered, I'm like, is he feeling it the same way I'm feeling it, or are we like on equal levels or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But when we did this the other day and we compared notes, when I looked, because he was telling me, he was going through his piece of paper. He just had like a piece of paper that was folded up into
Yeah.
easily, and he was like trying to figure out, like when you listen back to the tape, you'll hear him kind of shuffling around trying to figure out what he wrote down.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing the address 6714 that he had written
Yeah,
on
yeah.
his paper, and I had 6710 written in my notes.
And that could have been him just walking past and then
Right.
all of a sudden realizing and just looking, where am I at right at this point?
Right.
But it just may have taken a little bit of time for it to actually hit him.
Right, because what happens is when we because it's literally a cloud of energy is what it is, and it's. I'll put it this way: it's kind of like when you find an animal den, right? Like you know the animal's around, you can kind of smell its essence. You
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
signs of it. It's around, like so. That's kind of what this building is. It's like a wreck. Like when you find a mouse den in the corner of your house or something, you move something, and you see all the signs. You
Yeah.
know? You don't see the actual mouse, but you see all the signs.
Yeah, yeah.
But the mouse is out there, you know. The mouse is somewhere, and you know it's somewhere. And that's kind of the same vibe we get here. It's like you can kind of feel it around, like you can feel its presence. But then when it's actually like physically present, it's just this kind of condensed thing, and it can sort of come out to meet you.
Yeah.
So when we're walking by, we're kind of a magnet for it, so it comes out and kind of follows us for a second, and sometimes it might take a second or two for it to catch up with us. So, but we both narrowed down like basically the same 15-foot space.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
And that was pretty, yeah. So that was a really cool thing to see that. And we also picked out the spot down the block too. And there was a bunch of other stuff in between that we didn't really match up on.
Yeah.
But these two spots was definitely like, proved to me that me and Joe are kind of at the same level.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
can both feel the stuff like legitimately, and then being able to confirm with the place that we stopped in front of that it is indeed haunted makes us believe, like, okay, well, we're not crazy. As skeptical as I am, like, I would always second guess myself and question it. But to be able to do this literally dozens and dozens of times where I just get a vibe and then start asking questions is,
Yeah.
proof to me, anyway.
It'd be interesting to capture that too, of you guys separately going through an area and catching a vibe and
Yeah.
seeing how that matches up, because that's
We have all that here on this task.
that's good.
So,
That's good. Cool.
and it'll be up to you to like put all that together.
Make it happen.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks a lot for being here, and we look forward to working with you more, and,
Okay.
and we'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
All right, so this has been episode 1 of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies miscellaneous Mental Detectors spin-off podcast, and keep on listening. And hopefully, we'll be doing more of these soon, and get more haunted places logged into the books and find more stories. Be cool out there, or whatever. Whatever our catchphrase is. That. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering how my voice came out if it was.
All right.
Hopefully not.
What do you have to say, Joey?
My arms are tired from recording that for an hour.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
I'm surprised my phone is still like on at this point.
Yeah.
All right, cool. How do we end this? How do I end the live video?
Push that X probably.
Yeah, but I don't know if that like does that like make it go away forever?
No. Once it's live, it's live.
Okay. I think that's it. Oh, I can change it to like different. Ooh, look, bubbles. Oh man, hey man, I'm tripping out, yo. Whoa. Bubbles. Dance party. Ooh, 8mm is cool. Yeah, it's like a snuff film. Do you want to do a snuff film?
No.
Alright.
Yeah, it seems like we've got ambient noise that we're dealing with, but I think it's